Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of 22 Minutes. I am Jason Bates, bringing you the lender side of things, and he is Mr. Stephen Cotton. He's going to bring us the realtor side of things.
I like the claps.
There you go.
Thanks,
like
everybody. Thanks, everybody, for the claps. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. And together, we hope to not only entertain you, but also bring you that valuable information that you need when you're looking to buy, sell, or refinance property. So if you're looking to do any of those things or even invest in property, please reach out to us. We would love to be your team of choice here in the Phoenix metropolitan area. So please reach out to us. We would love to talk to you. Hey, if you're watching us live on Facebook, head over to our Facebook page at 22 Mins and go ahead and like that page there for us. We'd appreciate that support. And share with your friends and family. That's what we did for the first 10 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
Takes us 10 minutes to share with our people. We probably need to knock it down.
And that's why you're here watching it. Right. We can knock it down to 4 minutes. Make it really intense.
Knock it down to 1 minute because I've only friends with one person kind of thing.
Right. That's terrible. Sad.
But if you're watching the replay too on YouTube, hey, give us that thumbs up and share with your friends and family. Appreciate that support too. From everybody at YouTube. On Twitter, everybody watching us there on Twitter, Periscope, hey, throw us some hearts. I see these replays, and I know I'm not on Twitter or Periscope right now monitoring your comments, but I do get on there and look at that, so throw us some hearts over there on Twitter.
Are you a heart junkie?
I am a heart. Well, everybody needs some heart, man.
Yes, they love me. They really love me.
They really, really like me.
We are up for an award.
Yes, right?
Next week we'll be pushing that. I think next Wednesday. I think is when the voting starts.
Right.
That's how loved we are. Not that I nominated you or you nominated me.
I know.
But we're up.
I know. Which I probably should put that up here, right? I should probably put that up here.
Not yet. Next week.
Well, it's right there. There it is. Nominated for the streaming awards. There you go.
Been nominated. Boom, done.
Okay, or vote for us. Yeah, you're right. Hey, let's get to today's tweet quote of the day.
Perfect.
All right. This is something that I saw and I thought, well, this is something that a lot of people don't want to take. And that is that first step, right? The smallest step in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life. Well, homeownership for a lot of people is a huge step. You just got to take that first small step, and that is call us, and then that'll be the biggest step of your life.
Boom,
shakalaka.
And I tell people this all the time. Just do one thing today that makes you move forward. Like do something today. Don't wait till tomorrow, especially if it's the smallest step like that. As long as you're going in the right direction, or as long as you're making any progress at all, then you're one step closer than you were yesterday.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Homeownership's a big deal. It's a big deal. And so you just got to pick up that phone and make the call. Got to make that call. Hey, we've got some good topics here today to cover in the news. So let's get right to that and get into some of these top newsmakers in real estate.
Let's do it.
All right.
There's our favorite.
It's our favorite?
Zillow Trulia.
Yeah, Zillow Trulia. All right, they're kind of on the headline here for the week that was in real estate and news. But CFPB goes after Zillow and Trulia. And Zillow and Trulia are the same. That's why I have this picture up here now. CFPB used to be buddies with Zillow. Hey, we're all good, buddy. We're all good. Just this year, the CFPB paid Zillow to find more information out about homebuyers' experiences. And then the CFPB started telling, they kind of sucked them in, I think, a little bit, right? Then the CFPB started telling real estate agents that Zillow's Premier Agent program may be illegal. I think we kind of talked about that at the beginning of the year. Now Zillow reveals that the CFPB has been investigating them for RESPA violations for nearly 2 years. 2 years they've been under investigation. The Bureau revolves around the co-marketing program Zillow encourages for agents and originators. It certainly smells a lot like marketing services agreements, and the CFPB says it violates RESPA.
CFPB, I don't know anybody that would want to be buddies with those guys. They're like the kids that tell on you at school, or they're the, you know
Right.
what I mean? Like, hey, let's, what's that saying about keep your enemies closer? Like keep your friends close, your enemies closer.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Exactly.
CFPB says, hey, Stefan, let's go hang out. Let's go get a cup of coffee. I'm going to say,
Yeah.
no, busy that day.
Yeah. And it continues. So not only do they have it on that front with the originator and the MSA marketing service agreements with them and originators, which I've kind of alluded to this story with some agents, and they're like, no, it's not going to be a problem. It's not going to be a problem, blah, blah.
Right.
Well, I think it's going to be a problem. I think it's going to be a problem for some agents. And the last thing I would want is to be kind of tied up in that kind of mess. I'd want to kind of distance myself on that pretty quickly. The other part here on the Zillow, they're being sued over the Zestimate.
Right. I saw that one too.
Right?
Yeah. Some lady's suing over, because she's trying to sell her house and the estimate's like 40K or 50K less. But I'm sure you have the whole story. It's like one for sale by owner lady, right? Is that what's
Yeah. So the suit was filed by a woman trying to sell her townhouse for $626,000, roughly what she paid for it in 2009. Houses directly across the street, but with greater square footage, sell for $100,000 more. The most recent estimate is for $562,000. She claims Zillow is performing appraisals that don't comply with USPAP, which is illegal. The Appraisal Foundation keeps saying AVMs, which are automated valuation, something I forget what the M's. Yeah, modifier, something like that. It's an automated kind of engine that tells value. And such are not appraisals because they are not done by an appraiser. Perhaps it's time for them to wake. So basically she's saying, hey, you're undervaluing my house.
right.
Therefore impeding the prospects coming in because they're looking at the Zestimate and saying my asking price is way too high.
I get that all the time. Whenever we like a fix and flip a house, or here's what I always say though. I always say, you know, what's bad about Zillow is that they're always wrong, right? But then I say, well, what's good about Zillow is they are always wrong. So people need me, right?
Right.
Because if you're counting on Zillow and Zestimates, you're way off. But people come in thinking that they're smart or educated. I guess the word is educated because Zestimate says this is worth 30K less than your list price.
Right.
So why would I pay? Why would I pay more than what Zillow says it's worth?
Right. Right. Yeah, it's a big problem. I mean, the Zestimate, I don't even know why they do it, to be honest with you. I mean, why don't they just take that whole feature out? I don't even understand what the
because it's not even close.
Yeah.
But here's what I want to do. Let's take like the CEO or the managers of Zillow. Mm-hmm. Let's look up their houses and see if their estimates are less than what they're actually worth. Because I'm pretty sure they probably typed in their own numbers like,
No, there's actually a study. The gentleman, the owner of Zillow or whatever, he did his Zestimate or whatever in Seattle, and it was way off. It was like $200,000 off.
Right.
And I think it was low as well. I don't recall, but she brings up a good point here that if I put my house on the market and I see a Zestimate that's $100,000 less, well, that could deter people from purchasing a house. And this all happens behind the scenes from you, the agent, because people are going to go on the internet and say, hey, let me Zillow's estimate this thing.
Yeah.
And it brings up an interesting point. All right. Next story here, DoddFrank replacement. The Financial Choice Act, introduced by the Financial Services Chair, Jeb Hesserling, which is him right there, is moving forward. So it's continuing to gain some momentum here. The bill would make significant changes to the Dodd-Frank, according to Committee Whip Dennis Ross. I don't know why Whip is in there. The bill will come up for a vote in early June, so just a couple weeks away. It is expected to pass the House and stall in the Senate, where 60 votes out of 100 are needed to pass. This is the whole bottleneck that it could face, but it's moving fairly quickly, and so the ownership's going to be on the House to make or break this deal.
This is probably one of the positive things that are happening right now, in my opinion. But I think WHIP might be an acronym too for like a White House in person or something. I don't know.
It's all in lowercase. It's not like hyphenated or anything like that. So, but hey, I want to play a video clip because this part of this went through yesterday or last week, and we had Senator Michael, his name Crapo, I think is how you pronounce it, Crapo. He was kind of he had Crapo.
Like Marco Polo.
Yeah, Marco Polo. So he was actually questioning because the Treasury Secretary was on the Hill, so to speak, taking questions about housing reform. And so I want to play a little clip here. It's about a minute long clip, but I want to kind of get your take on this clip after we play it here.
Sure.
Ask my first question about housing finance reform and the status quo. As I indicated in my opening remarks last week, Director Watt of the FHFA indicated that this was critical for Congress to deal with. My question to you is, do you agree that the status quo is unsustainable and that Congress must move on this issue?
Thank you, Chairman Crapo. I do agree completely with that. We are committed to working with you on a solution on housing reform. I think we need to fix Fannie and Freddie. We are committed to make sure that there is proper liquidity in the housing markets. It's a very, very important part of the American economy, and we need to make sure that there is ample credit for the middle class to buy homes, while at the same time making sure that the taxpayers are not at risk. As you know, the Treasury has a very big line outstanding to those two entities.
So you have it. Your thoughts on that? I mean, we're going to talk about Bank of America and some of the things they'd like to see.
Yeah.
Is it responsible? This is some of the stuff he says and some of the things these guys say on the Hill are just political. They're just political.
Right.
So yes, you want to keep a financial responsibility to the taxpayers and stuff like that. Totally get that. 100% get that. The good thing is that the Treasury Secretary understands that there has to be some type of change. This sort of thing going on where credit is so restrictive, things are so tight, is not conducive to the growth that could be happening, I guess.
Right.
What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I had a few thoughts. I think he said Crapo, I think is what he pronounced the guy's name. So that's my first thought.
Oh, there you go.
Crapo.
I stand corrected.
Right. That's the first thing. But
Marco.
Yeah. Right. Crapo. But what he was talking about is something that we all agree needs to happen anyway. I mean, we need to be weary of too many changes up front, but we need to try to always evolve, right? If you're not evolving, then you're not going to survive, or things aren't going to. I don't know. But
progress is not possible without change, kind of thing, right?
Right. There you go. That's should be our tweet quote of the day tomorrow by Jason Bates.
That's our company motto, by the way.
What?
Yeah. You like that? Yeah, you like that. So yeah, common sense. I mean, common sense has to prevail at some point. So it has to enter into the equation at some point. There are people who have certain types of jobs or certain kinds of ways of earning income that should not be excluded from purchasing a home. Self-employed borrowers, tend to get the brunt of that kind of, hey, you need a lot more money down, or that sort of thing. So they also spoke a little bit, and I didn't get the clips, but they also spoke about putting more responsibility on the government, maybe as kind of a guarantee or guarantor of mortgage-backed securities. There's a lot of private sector money out there that I believe will take the place of the government if they in fact exit the mortgage-backed security market.
Yeah.
I've said that quite a few times. I think there's good money in that. I think there's profit that can be had in that realm.
Right.
And the government, because they're in the way, it's kind of prohibiting some companies from getting in that market. So once that happens, then we'll start to see loosening of the guidelines because there'll be an appetite for that secondary. Right now, the government kind of stifles that a little bit.
Right.
It's kind of like going to the principal's office. You don't tell them everything that happened on the playground.
What do you think is going to what do you think they're going to put their money in then, if not something as safe as mortgages and stuff?
I don't know. There was talk of that 40-year Treasury bond,
Right.
in creating that as a vehicle. I don't know. I don't know what the government would do, to be quite honest with you. Who knows what the government would do, right? We got Trump in there. Who knows what's going to happen?
Right.
But something needs to happen, right? Something needs to happen when housing. We see it all the time. There's a lot of people still needing down payment assistance. There's still, and again, a lot of this will all be taken care of with increased wages.
Yep.
A lot of this kind of stuff kind of goes away, my opinion. Okay, speaking of which, let's get on to the next one here. Let me pull up my slides here and get to the next slide here. Housing debt, all-time high, new record. Previous debt load for American public was set in 2008 at $12.68 trillion. The latest report from Federal Reserve shows debt in the first quarter of 2017 at $12.70 trillion. A new record of debt. Even ballooning student loans weren't any match for increasing mortgage debt that is rising quickly as home prices escalate. Another interesting note is that 60% of credit is going to people with scores over 760. That's kind of interesting.
Well, I think. Do you think that maybe more home ownership equals more household debt? I mean,
that's exactly the price, right? And then again, the wages aren't quite there, so you have to borrow more and not put as much money down because you can't save very much money. So here we're seeing that balance. My opinion.
How much? Do you remember the number for like pathway to purchase? How much was the grant? Was it like?
You mean how much is in the pathway to purchase as a fund?
Yeah, remember there was like $2 billion or something.
Yeah, there's still quite a bit of money if you go to their website, pathway to purchase. At least in Arizona, there's still quite a bit of money in that fund.
Okay,
I don't know.
They ran out.
I don't know how much is in there. No, there's quite a bit.
Okay, but let's say it's $2 billion. I mean, that's $2 billion more to this 2.70 or 27. What is it? 2.7 trillion, right? From 2.68. So that's a large part of it. Part of it too is probably the down payment assistance, right? Because a lot of the down payment isn't there, so therefore the debt's there. But
right. Well, people can't pay down a lot of debt. They're kind of living paycheck to paycheck still.
Right.
You know, it's tough. The economy, I mean, they may be getting by and they're okay, but they're not as well off wealth-wise necessarily outside of their house as they once were. So hopefully that will change. Okay, next slide here. This one is a little bit controversial. Bank of America. Bank of America is kind of in the news, as they almost always are. Yeah, B of A. They opened the debate on lowering mortgage down payments. The head of Bank of America Corp., the United States' fourth largest mortgage bank lender, said on Thursday banks would be able to supply a bigger share of funding for home purchases if the standard down payment for buyers was cut to 10% from 20%. Now, I don't want to say that's a standard, right? That's a first thing that I kind of like question. But for the bank and their interpretation of risk, it is a standard for them if you don't have a certain credit criteria, right? Or even in the jumbo market kind of thing too, can be very.
So, I mean, there's a lot of big words there, but what I'm hearing is, are they saying remove the mortgage insurance at 10%?
I think so. I think that's where they're going with it.
That's pretty sweet. That's great for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't benefit other than the banks? And that's why they're getting out of the mortgage market.
Well, the mortgage insurance companies, right?
Yeah.
Vast majority of mortgages are underwritten to strict standards set by U.S. government or quasi-government entities, Fannie, Freddie Mac. We just spoke about them. While down payment requires can vary, there's fairly little latitude to lenders that do not want to take all the risks themselves. As a result, many prospective homebuyers who cannot come up with 20% down payment are unable to get a loan.
Right.
So that's kind of what we were talking about there. So I don't know. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't. Are we loosening then? Are we then putting the taxpayer at risk, as the Treasury Secretary says, if that were to happen? I don't know. Are we going back down that path?
You know, I don't. Here's what I think. Anything that helps keep money in the American dollar, or if they were to let's say the mortgage insurance for us is $186 or something, right? And
Yeah.
that's not an uncommon price. Let's say you're spending $186 extra a month on your homeowner's insurance, but that got away at 10% instead of 20%, but you still apply that $186 extra to your payment every month.
Yeah.
You know, if you can do that and you can afford it, then you're going to shave off about 13 years of your mortgage.
Yeah,
I mean,
but most people aren't going to do that.
Right. That's the alternative. So the alternative is keep paying it down with that money, or put that money in your pocket and use it for something else, which is also a win-win. But
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. What I do like is the fact that these types of conversations are coming up. I do like that because conversation leads to, change and resolution and different things. So I hope that these conversations continue and hopefully something good will come of it. I just also hope that nothing too aggressive comes of it. Big banks, let's face it, big banks, look out for big banks. The reason they're even bringing this up is because they lost market share, as we've reported over the past year. Big banks have lost a lot of market share when it comes to mortgages. So, yeah, they're a little hurt right now. And Bank of America, let's face it, they don't have the best reputation out there on the street.
right.
So
I remember after their big fiasco, like about 10 years ago, they were selling for like 38 cents a share.
I know.
Like, can you imagine?
Crazy.
What are they now? Even at $5 or something, you just would have made a ton of money buying that. But big banks take care of big banks, and then for you, for example, big bangs take care of big banks. So like,
like my bangs, I did get a haircut. All right, last story here, and then we'll wrap it up here. This is a little bit of a local story here. Home builder buys freeway land in West Valley, right there in your neck of the woods, there, Stefan. Scottsdale-based AV Homes Incorporated has bought 18.1 acres of land at the Loop through 303 Freeway and El Mirage Road in the West Valley. AV plans on an 85-lot residential development on the Loop 303 and land in West Phoenix.
You said all the way to El Mirage. I don't know if it goes that far, right? I mean, I'm looking. Oh no, I know exactly where that's
El Mirage Road.
Yeah, because what happens is it loops after the Highway 60.
Yeah.
On the way to Vegas, right? After the next exit's El Mirage. We used to live right there.
Yeah.
In fact, the whole area next to us, I'm gonna tell my wife, they're developing 18 acres right where we used to live off of.
All right, stick with us here. Stick with us here.
All right.
Because we're going to wrap it up. The Northwest. Tell her to watch the show.
Yeah, just watch the show.
Just watch the show. Hey, the Northwest Valley is the most sought after submarket for builders and one of the hardest places to find land. AV Homes will offer high quality entry level homes, which is generally needed in the area. So high quality entry level homes, first time home buyers. Good spot out there. Good spot out there. All right, that does it for the news makers for today.
Sorry,
I know the timer's going to restart there. But that does it for today. Hey, thanks everyone for being a part of the show. Share with your friends and family if they're in need of, I guess, some new top newsmakers in real estate, or if you're interested in this. We do this Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Arizona time. So if you want to watch the live show, head over to our Facebook page at 22 Mins AZ, or just 22 Mins. You can watch it live from there, participate. I did have the Facebook comments up, and I didn't mention it. No comments were below. I guess I should have mentioned that at the beginning of the show. But if you write a comment on the post, it will show up on the show. So it's a great way to interact with us as we're doing it live. If you're watching the replay, hey, give us that thumbs up and share with your friends and family as well. We appreciate that support.
Sorry, I got too excited there about that. That
303.
I'll try to keep my energy down lower next time. Right. No, it's good.
All right.
Great stuff.
All right, cool. Well, everyone, have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you out there shopping for a home soon. Take care, everyone.
Thanks.